parents. Just want to give you a little bit of an update on some of the stuff that we've been doing. We've been on TikTok for a little while now, so I just want to send out another video explaining TikTok but kind of breaking it down even more. It's totally normal to play the same song for a while, especially at this age. So I'm just going to play the first line of TikTok and I'm going to talk about how I want you guys to practice at home. So the first thing I think that might be really, really helpful are warm-ups. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to review all the notes. We're going to play E as a whole note. That means I'm going to play it, I'm going to let it ring for 4 beats, and that's just that open first string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go to our next note. That's F. Now, remember, thumb back here, not palm. Thumb. It's got to be the thumb. Have that really, really good arc. I think you guys can see it right there. Perfect. Tip of the finger. These 2 fingers are pressing up against each other. It should feel like your thumb and your index are pressing against each other, but with a guitar neck in the middle. Be as close to the bottom of the fret as you can, especially on this first fret. If you go up here, I can't even get a sound. I need to get it as close to that metal part as I possibly can without being on top of it, because that's also going to give you a buzz. So, really good sound. This you're going to play as a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to G. It's got to be the 3rd finger. That's your ring finger. Remember, index is 1, middle is 2, ring finger is 3. So you're going to play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to play those same 3 notes, but as half notes. So E, half note, half note. You can also count 1, 2, which is how many beats a half note gets. I think it's easier to just say half note. So let's go to F, half note, half note, and then finally G, half note, half note. So start off every practice, whole note, E, F, G, half notes, E, E, F, F, G, G. Now let's talk about quarter notes. We're going to play 4 of these. So 4 E's, 4 F's, 4 G's. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's our warm-up. Should take you about a minute, I would say. Then we can get into our song. Again, we're just going to be looking at this first line of music. So we start with a G as a half note. So half note, half note, half note, half note. Now we get into those quarter notes. G, F, E, F, G, E. Okay, so that's that first line. What we're going to be doing in class is we're going to have one student play it. We call that the melody line. Now, depending on how many students there are in class, the other one or the other 2 students will play the chord part. This is the new stuff that we're going to be talking about. So what I want you to do is I want you to turn to page 21. Here they talk about the G7 chord and the C chord. Now, if you play maybe a little bit of guitar at home, you know your chords, you'll know this G7 and C major chord. They're very, very common. So feel free to play with your kids. They're the exact same chords, whether it's a baritone ukulele or a guitar, they're tuned the same. So the G7 chord, you're going to put your first finger on the first fret of the first string. That's that note F. Now, instead of playing just that one string to play the note F, we're actually going to strum all 4 strings. Now you'll see there's a chord chart on page 21. I'm going to go much, much more in depth in the email on how to read that. But basically it's if I'm holding a guitar like this, the lines going side to side would be the frets, lines going up and down would be the strings. You have that sort of black dot on the first fret. That means you're going to put a finger on the first fret of the first string. you have those open circles around strings 2, 3, and 4. That means to play them open. Again, I'll go more in depth in the email. Over here we have a C chord. C, you're going to take that first finger, you're going to bring it over to the second string, have a really, really good arc. That's going to be important. You don't want to touch that first string at all. So you have your first finger on the second string, first fret. This time you're just going to play 3 strings. So not that lowest string, just those 3. All right, let's jump back to tick-tock. The first 2 measures, we have whole notes. When the other student is playing those whole notes, you are going to play a C major chord also as a whole note. So it'll go half, I said whole note, half note. You're going to play them as half notes. That's how tick-tock starts. So half notes, C chord. Half note, half note, half note. Now you're going to switch to the G7, but you'll notice in the music they've switched from half notes to quarter notes. So you're going to play these a little bit quicker on the G7. Now you're going to switch back to C for those half notes. Half note, half note. So one student will be playing that. The other student will be playing. All right, and that's it for tick-tock on page 15. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this stuff can get a little bit confusing, so just feel free to email me or call me with any questions.